My lord.
Hello.
Yes, my lord. Yes,
Right,
my lord.
hello.
Yes,
Right,
my lord.
hello.
Hey, this is Baby Shark. I'm watching a one-on-one between Ring and TOFU. This is going to be their Sharkfight Game 1. A Sharkfight is a series of 10 different maps where each player chooses 5 of them, different maps. HSC is a map that both of these guys play quite a lot, high seas combat. It's a water map. You have a number of islands around the edge of the map and then a big lake slash ocean slash sea in the middle of the map. TOFU has chosen to play as humans. Ring is orc. Now these two ally each other regularly. They are basically inseparable, and they play this map a lot, so I'm expecting this to be a pretty good game. Especially if Ring goes for the expand, because sometimes he chooses not to expand or thinks about expanding only once his gold mine has run out, which is not really a good place to be, because then you're kind of vulnerable and you have a period where you can't get any resources. So Ring has gone for 2 shipyards, so I'm guessing he's going to do jugs. TOFU has not headed into the water. He has 3 idle peons, which tells me either he's half asleep or something like that, because that is usually he's more on the ball than this. I am thinking that Ring is going to win this based on what I'm seeing so far. He's going for a very early keep. Now, if Ring goes Juggernauts and he doesn't find anything, he's going to have expended quite a bit of resources on that. And TOFU might be going for expanding up here to the island that's attached. You have to sap through a rock wall to get to that island up there. But that might be what TOFU is aiming to do here. Maybe going for griffins, maybe going for magic, or maybe a kind of a combination of things. It is refreshing to see humans played, because they are played relatively rarely in this game. Not really so much by the group that I play with. We see humans fairly regularly, but overall in the game, orc is by far the most commonly played race. Some people make a destroyer first to do a fast scout around the map. If you are going jugs, though, getting that destroyer kind of takes away from the resources for making a juggernaut. The destroyer has a bigger visual range, and it moves faster, but it hits for a lot less and has less range. So the juggernaut is a much more powerful destroying ship and can reach pretty far inland to hit buildings, and hits for a lot, but they move a little bit slower. And now I'm starting to feel like the game is favoring TOFU. He's going castle. And if he gets mages, he can take care of these relatively easily. He has nothing within reach on the shoreline. Because the Juggernaut, I think, can reach to here, but with his hall placement here, I think that he's not getting the peons popping out here. Or maybe he just doesn't have enough of them in there for that to happen. But either way, the Juggernauts can't really do much to him right now, and he's able to get an expansion on land even without going into the water. If Ring happens to do really attentive unit control on his fleet, he's got these guard towers to protect in case he gets grunt rushed. Collecting oil. Alright, Tofu is trying to make his way into the water just as the Jugs are about to discover him. He has to first... Usually people first produce a mage and then upgrade the magic. I used to do it always in reverse. I would first upgrade the spell and then upgrade the mage. For the longest time I did that. Until I was told that that's not a good way to do it, and the reason is that either way you do it, you have to wait the entire time. Like, you need to have the spell upgraded, and that takes a certain amount of time, and you need to have the mage created, and that takes a certain amount of time. But I discovered that it's better to first create the unit and then upgrade the spell for two reasons. One is that you can if you have a unit, you can use it for something, versus where if you just have a blizzard, you can't really do anything with it without a mage. The other thing is that your mage starts collecting mana as soon as he emerges from the temple. I mean, the mage tower. DKs come from what's called a temple. So yeah, there's at least two reasons to make your unit first and then upgrade your spell after that. Now there will be some exceptions where you would want to upgrade the spell first and a unit later, such as if your base is currently under attack and the unit that popped out would just die, and you have a lot of gold and you can afford to upgrade the spell while it's not safe to create a unit. That's one situation. There's probably more, but I want to keep on top of the action here. I can't really think of a solid other reason right this second, but they probably exist. So the funny thing is that even if you have a Juggernaut or a unit that is very low on life and has 1 hit point, they can still do full damage. So if you have a Juggernaut with 1 hit point left, it can still do its full damage on the enemy buildings and units. So he had a shipyard here, he had a shipyard here, so he lost 2 already. He's got some knights going on here. Ring has an altar, a couple ogres already. I think the game is looking pretty close right now. It could go either way still. It depends on how they play the rest of the game. The shipyard is now discovered. The mages are probably pretty low on mana since he's been kind of using it. Uh-oh. That was probably not what Tofu meant to do. He just killed his units and his transport. That was probably a misclick, which sometimes happens. But it's looking a little bit more now like Ring is going to have an advantage if he's going to do a lust hit soon. And Ring just killed his units that would have been able to defend that better than just 2 mages and 1 level 3 knight against Lust. This cannon tower isn't even walled. This is not the best performance in the world from TOFU. TOFU is normally a pretty strong and solid player. So Ring opted to go for the lust before he landed. Because if you're sitting on the shore lusting up your ogres and there's a mage, the mage can start blizzing you while you're doing your lusting, and then you're going to lose some hit points. But it is looking like TOFU would have a tough time pulling together an escape out of this. He did manage to, it looks like, do a blizz cast on Ring's gold. There is still hope for TOFU, because he managed to also equalize the playing field by killing a lot of Ring's peons as well. So now they both have low peons. So TOFU managed to get a peon over here to expand at 1, and that is probably going to help him win. Because if he's got an expansion and Ring doesn't, I would say that is probably the #1 cause for Ring's demise in most games that I've seen, where he just doesn't expand. Or else expands way too late. Like after his gold mine is already run out. But he still has plenty of gold on his home island right now. TOFU's got a sub to come take care of some of these jugs. Although at the same time his base is getting leveled. Ooh, he managed to get a mage tower up here. This is still pretty close, because Ring at this point, if he still has a lot of gold here. TOFU has an expansion, but he's losing all his farms and buildings and his castle. I think Ring definitely has the advantage. But if Tofu is able to continually blizz him and get rid of his juggernauts with that sub, Tofu can still win this. I think Tofu at this point will win. And I know it really doesn't look like it right now. He's going ahead and repairing that transport. Then jumped into it for a ride. And what's he gonna do here? What's that peon? Oh, the peon was not supposed to come out, I guess. Nice, he got 3 ogres there. He's probably going to want to kill this transport to help keep Ring on his island and not able to come and get him over at 1. There goes an eyeball to see what's going on here. Coming from up there. Alright, so Ring lost his transport. Yeah, Tofu wins. Because he can continually blizz Ring now, and Ring is pretty low on a lot of things that are important. Okay, so Ring is looking for his expansion now. With these eyeballs. Has he not checked 1 yet? I haven't noticed whether Ring sent an eyeball up there or not. Uh-oh. Does Tofu have anything to destroy these with? I wish I had Absorb so I could see his resources and whether he can afford a mage. He has a mage down here. Okay, here's one. Alright. He's got some pretty good targeting with that mage, and like hitting the ogres even when they're moving, and he managed to kill them. These guys are ready to go back to work. Oh, he's gonna put all these ogres in there. Ring doesn't seem to be able to mine much gold at his base either. So they're both keeping each other from collecting resources. This is a much more interesting game than your basic, you know, one-on-one Garden of War, where both people just like power to lust and stuff, because you kind of see I like the mage in action, and you know, just the interaction with the subs and the transports and the mage dealing with all these ogres. I wonder how if like Doug's and TOFU played. Doug's is from the Russian server, but if they played one-on-one, I wonder how they would do against each other, especially if they played like on a water map or something like that. Because Doug's is supposed to be one of the better human players, but TOFU plays a ton of maps. Not just one single Garden of War 100 times in a row. Oh no. Things are looking bad for TOFU. He lost his hall. And I don't see any peons there either. Does he have one in here? I would be pretty impressed if TOFU won with just mages left in the game. Oh, he's got peons. Where did those come from? Oh, he can still afford a hall. Must be low on wood though, because he started chopping right away, not repairing. Yeah, TOFU should win this. Ring has some ogres, but TOFU is doing some hit and run strikes with his mage and lowering their hit points and taking them out gradually. See, look at that. He got the ogre, saved his mage tower, did not get hit by the other unit, and took care of the other one too. That's some pretty good mage work from TOFU. His eyeball was just right here as the peons were there, and the hall started after the eyeball disappeared, so it seems that this escaped his vision. Ooh, I just replanted. I love the way they talk. They're so funny. Replanted. I love the terminology of TOFU. I just replanted. I think I'm going to start a new thread on the forum called Funny Things TOFU Says. I'm gonna have to go back and find the screenshot of that from the stream later and then post it. Very close game and very good game. Like, Ring has the gold here. He has still a lot of gold. But TOFU's mages don't seem to want to let him get any. I need to remember to turn Observe on and actually test if it works on the server first of all, which it should. And then also be able to watch games and know what's going on inside the buildings and check what resources people have, because right now it's not showing up. This is just what I started with, because I have a peon somewhere. There he is. I think he's gonna send the mages to take down Ring's happy little miners yet again. That was a very good game. It's getting late here.